my producer was trying to play it on me a bit, but he missed it out because I'm not a veteran. Sometimes people can misuse this word veteran. They call someone a talk show host, and my people are big here before I start the program. Let me just try to correct this thing. They call someone a talk show host a veteran. And man, y'all started maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you call him veteran. Even 15 years ago, you call him veteran. That man a veteran. The word veteran you don't ascribe it to somebody who been in the profession even 20 years. He's not still veteran. That man just still learning. They got to work on experience. Then maybe you can say, okay, that guy's experienced. He been in it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You can say, yes, it makes. But some kind of talk show host. And I hear people often, and the callers can always make their heads, so big, man. They swell their heads because somebody will just call it, veteran John Brown or veteran Peter Paul, veteran talk show host. No. They got two words, veteran and experience. That may be in a profession, maybe 10, 15 unbroken years. He been doing talk shows, maybe 20 years. Yeah, he's experienced, but he's not a veteran. He's not a veteran. And something I tell people, even men lecture who started the thing before us, they're not veteran. When you talk about veteran, you making reference, even Philibert Brown is not veteran. I mean, is it Philibert Brown that they call him? He's not veteran. But it is troubling, we misuse the word calling someone on talk shows a veteran. He's not a veteran. So and I want you to just know that today. The thing they call veteran and experience, two different words, what's the tower? And I don't know what sometimes you listen to some of the callers calling people veteran and calling talk shows veteran. And hey, even Tagba is not a veteran. Yeah, Tagba is not a veteran. I'm not a veteran. I'm not just an experienced guy. I'm not a veteran. We got to learn this thing. But anyway, welcome to the Nighttime Heat tonight. It promises to be very interesting. I've got a couple of training discussions, training topics that we're going to look at tonight. My man David Tagwa is already in the house. Yesterday he was not here. David said he was somewhere caught up on the bypass, at his girlfriend's house, so he couldn't make it to come on the program. But he confirmed that yesterday to me, except he wants to publicly lie in a way. And also, I know my man Wion is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Desmond Wion from the team here at Nighttime Heat. We really celebrate with you. And of course, with your long life, we're hoping that, hope and pray that you live up to 125, 30 years, my man. And I know that can happen, man. And gentlemen, welcome to the program quickly. Welcome.
Who are you starting with?
Oh, Dave, I'm starting with you as usual.
You're starting with me.
Yeah, you want to clarify the story?
You haven't put on.
Your microphone is on.
My microphone is on.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sabot, and good evening to everyone. What sort of story do I have to?
Yeah. Because it's true.
Yeah.
So you can clarify that.
Nothing is true, Sabot. It's good to be here always. I know you want to start pulling my legs, and that wouldn't work. I just like to say hi to everyone following us, but you want to put me in trouble, my sweetheart. I mean, saying that, my girlfriend, this and that. If I go home now, that's a serious problem. Why you decide to do such?
If Dave, it's not a problem. You confide in me.
Had it been me,
you sent a text message.
Had it been me, you would have called me in the corner and said, David, you want to put me in problem with Ophelia, Mrs. George. But it's me now. You don't care the damage you cause it.
No,
that's all
you're
right.
not married to
That's
but anyway, welcome to the clip.
That's not fair. I'm okay, man. I'd like to say good evening to our listeners and viewers all around the world. And it's always good. Yesterday I was in here, the rain. I hate wet streets.
Okay.
I hate wet streets. When it's raining, I don't easily leave the house except it is an emergency.
Okay.
But I hate wet streets.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, Dave.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that. But you have to, get yourself used to it because we have 2 seasons here, the winning the
I know,
draft
I
season.
know that.
So, and let me welcome you, Desmond. Desmond, quickly, let me welcome you to the program.
Thank you, Sabo. Thank you. Am I on?
Yes, you are on, Desmond.
So thank you, Sabo. And I mean, it sounds more unusual for an African to, especially a Liberian, to say he doesn't used to the wet weather. I mean, like you said, I mean, there's a need for them to get used to it. However, so it's gonna be back. I mean, it is because of librarians we are here. So I'd like to say good evening to our listeners, our viewers. Kind of share the show, invite others to watch, so that they too can get informed. Access to information is a fundamental right, so what we do, especially from us from the mass communication, as mass communicator, as journalists, we will come on this show, be a reinforced sunshine. We will be always here to provide the necessary updates, analysis, in conformity with facts and reality, so that Liberian people can be informed about what matters and what they need to know. So it's going to be, it's indeed, an incredible honor, and I look forward to having a very quite interesting conversation this evening. So,
Okay, so happy birthday again to you as you celebrate your birthday. We really appreciate that you are celebrating today and wish you many, many more years to come from the team here at the nighttime heat. And of course, we pray, and we hope and pray that you live up to over 100 years, so that you enjoy life on earth here. Happy birthday once again.
thank you, Sabo. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the birthday tribute, and it is by God's divine purpose that I have to live those years that you have wished me for.
Okay. Now, so listeners and viewers, let me again share the show. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. Just type Nighttime Heat maybe on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel, and of course, you're going to watch the show online. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We are streaming live. Kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. Let me just bring you up to speed with some of the discussions we'll be holding today. The President, His Excellency President Joseph Maboaka, today held his 24th edition of his regular cabinet meeting, and I'm going to bring a video of the president's or the audio of the president's opening comments, and we'll talk about that. I'm sure that you have some talkable points in it. We're going to talk about that as well. And the Supreme Court has handed down ruling in some cases today, and that continues tomorrow, including the Arson case. What is your experience talking about that today? What an equator for former House Speaker Jonathan for Nanti Jonathan Kofa. Is that the name?
Yeah, that's Jonathan Francis Kofa.
And others. What are they? Be equator or equator? We're going to discuss that today on the program. Also, we're going to do a full analysis. The president yesterday spoke. He released a message to the Liberian people, and I think we need to talk about that. Yes, we started yesterday. We didn't conclude, but that message got some talkable items in it that we'll have to talk about this evening. And if time permits, a US-based advocacy group has written the Congress. In fact, they are now pushing for sanctions and visa restrictions for people who will be caught up in the wipe off the ongoing investigation, the narcotic investigation, or cocaine investigation. So we're going to talk about that as well. So you're listening? Let's try to get the first video up quickly when the president today held his cabinet meeting. But before then, Dave, what's on your mind? What trended?
What's on my mind, Sabat? It's good that you ask. It's good that you ask. What's on my mind is that, look, In early September, President Joseph Boakai will be launching a rally to raise funds of money to support the Liberia national team, the Lone Star, the Lone Star, and that is very verifying news that the president who did not play international football, or maybe national football, will develop such an interest in the national team to raise funds, to inspire or motivate players of the national team. Nothing is something that is commendable. The former president George Weah, who played international football and won all the awards, did not show any interest in the national team in terms of budgetary support and all that thing. So, I mean, it's something that all of us Liberians see as an exceptional performance as the president of the Republic of Liberia, supporting developing interest in the national team, raising funds, or planning a rally to make sure that the Lone Star prevails on the international page.
Okay.
And that is something commendable.
All right. So, Mr. Wion, your colleague is trying to hail the president for his latest decision to raise some resources for the national team. But in that, he also took a swap at the former president. Do you agree with him?
I mean, that is the opinion of David Tagbe, and of course, David Tagbe spoke usually. I mean, he always, he has always spoken just as David Tagbe. Nothing different he has said. But look, let me say this: I cannot.
He said they said the former president didn't do that. That's why he played football, but he couldn't raise money for. He said nothing much. He said. So he's speaking substance here. So you do agree with him or not?
I cannot agree with David Tagbe in ignorance.
Ignorance?
Ignorance.
What is the interpretation of that?
Because David Tagbe spoke ignorantly.
What do you mean?
If a man, since the country was established for 1847, and then for the first of a kind, we have a man who built modern sports park around the city of Monrovia and its environment, and you say the man didn't do anything in sports, then I think his definition of investing in sport should be revisited. Since Liberia became Liberia, the only field we ever boasted about has been the SKD, which was built by Samuel Kanyando and the ATS. But this is a man on his watch, given the level of time he played the soccer, played the football, played the object, and given the fact that he understands that there's a need to recruit new talents. You need to first and foremost create the avenues at which point in time these talents will be extracted or will be observed and recruited.
Okay, but let me ask you. I know Moses is on now. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys this evening. Thank you.
Okay,
and let me say hi to my colleagues. Yeah.
Okay, Moses. Thank you. But let me ask you, Mr. Wion.
Okay.
Is there any time during the last administration that you know about for the former president to raise resources for the national team? Because Tagbe is saying that has not happened before. But in trying to also commend the current president, he tried to criticize the previous.
So apparently David Tagbe has not been informed as always. Now, during the previous administration of the former CDC, right? You had Councillor Gibson. I try to get his full name, but that's Councillor Gibson who head that Ministry of Youth and Sport. In fact, there were several programs that were conducted to raise funds for the Liberia national team, so that the team can be able
Mhm.
to get, numerated for the African League. However it is, whatever may have happened, today we still on a venture. What this current Unity Party administration, especially with the chairperson of the Unity Party, Reverend Luther Tapper, what is he doing? It is not a new thing, someone that was instituted. In fact, that was introduced during the former administration.
So it's just a continuity.
It's a
All
continuity.
right, let's try to hold that discussion there. It's not a major. It's not on our agenda.
No,
It's not on
but
the-
somebody
No,
I gotta
Yeah,
respond to it.
I come here. I know you respond.
Yeah.
But it's not one of the majors that will be handling here, or will be dwelling on here. So let's just hear from you quickly, and then we'll put a pause on
You
that.
know, Wayne said David Tower spoke out of ignorance. Can you imagine that? Wayne saying that to me? That's that's disrespect to a senior. That's absolute disrespect that I spoke out of ignorance. Okay, I agree that I spoke out of ignorance. You said, Joe, we are Bill's post pack. We're talking about supporting the national team in terms of prevailing on the international platform in terms of soccer. And you're talking about sports pack. So what impact did the sports pack, make on the national team in terms of surviving in terms of international competition, soccer competition? The Lone has always been, at the lowest ebb in terms of soccer. Liberia has not even gone anywhere, made any progress in terms of international football. And you said, you talk about sports pack. Can you imagine that?
So what are you?
Are you saying no?
1 minute.
Someone, let me strike this point. Yeah, you are telling a David Tagbert, well informed, well analytical, telling him that he spoke out of ignorance. That's a serious.
But
That-
Dave,
I think
Dave,
that's a
Dave,
slip of
let
tongue.
me ask
I
you.
think that's a
Let
slip
me
of
ask
tongue.
you, Dave.
Uh-huh.
I know we'll be transitioning to our main discussions.
Yeah.
What are you putting lots of premium on? What has not happened? It's just a plan. What are you putting premium on? What are you?
Premier
so,
or what?
what
Premier,
are
Premier,
you
no,
so?
you have to be specific.
coming.
Now. You're talking to our intellect.
What are you putting lot of seriousness and trying to support what's going to happen about raising funds for the national team? Has that happened?
Sabo,
It's just a plan.
It's Sabo.
It's in the offering.
Sabo. I'm just disappointed
Every-
that the so-called legend, former President George Weah, who won a lot of laurels as one of the best world-class players, came to the presidency, Liberian presidency,
David, that's not an issue.
and did
David,
nothing
David, that's not
about
the issue.
improving
The issue I'm asking
that's the
you-
issue.
David, the issue
To
I'm
you,
asking
it's
you,
not an issue.
what-
To
what-
me,
what I-
it is an
so this
issue.
is something that's in the offering. It's
Uh-huh.
it's a plan. It hasn't happened
It's
yet.
about-
It hasn't yielded any results.
Okay,
What are you putting a lot of
I
premium
get
on
your
it?
point.
Uh-huh.
I get your point. But since I get your point, let me tell you that there's nothing that President Bouaka or the Unity Party government has promised and didn't do.
Okay.
Let's look at no.
Let me hold you there.
You
Dave,
try to weaken me.
No,
now.
Dave.
Let me learn. on
No,
this
no,
one.
you can't
No,
learn.
no,
on
let
that.
me
We're
learn
not-
on this
We're
one.
not going to continue with that.
Okay.
It's a
I
matter
agree.
discussion.
No
Now,
problem.
That's the thing.
no,
some-
no.
No,
I mean,
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
Mr. Sabo,
You
Mr.
can
Sabo,
win me on a debate.
This is just a public
You can win
information.
me.
On the
You
former
can win
president
me
George
on a
Weah,
debate.
in 2022, CDC
Okay.
made appropriation of over 55,000 just for the national team to make adjustment with hard technical capacity.
Okay.
Now,
let me hold you there.
come here. I conclude.
We don't have Sam, we have mature
I agree.
discussion
That
here.
is not our subject
Man, I will
conversation.
tell you that you are a freshman in intellectual
So,
discourse.
Now, why you always say
You are a freshman.
when we go into the
You are a
subject of the
fresh-
conversation,
you are a freshman in intellectual
the freshman
discourses.
can always
can't say
defeat
that
the
here.
senior.
All right, so let me hold you, gentlemen.
So-
Gentlemen, no,
So-
one
so-
minute.
so-
No,
you
we're
know-
not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
That
Keep
man
it- keep
is
it
a
information.
freshman intellectual
Keep it information.
discourse.
Keep it
Okay,
information.
no
You
problem.
can't defeat me
So,
on that
gentlemen,
show.
today the
You can't
president,
defeat me.
Hello, Sawa.
yes,
So,
yes.
just before
I
you
think,
transition,
I'll
let me
put you on some
just
shit.
pick it back.
Let's go to William Chapin now.
Yeah, let me just pick
Go
it
up
back.
to
Yeah, let me just pick it back on what you guys are talking about regarding the Lone Star. I came in the middle of a discussion, but just from what I heard, I think Mr. Weir, it is true that he did not do much for the national team. And that's one of the reasons why he lost the election. This administration promised to undo everything, other the evil thing that Mr. Weir and his people did. We're talking about over 3 years now. Where are we in terms of soccer development in Liberia? What has this administration done that Mr. Tagbe is boasting of? Where's the Lone Star of today? Let's go into the historicity of Liberian football at the level of the national team. You remember Samuel Doe, who took the Lone Star to the highest level? You know that when this guy was president, we almost won. We almost went to the World Cup. Do you know what Mr. Taylor did for soccer in Liberia? The Salif administration, the contribution, and you say all these people ain't do nothing. The Baka administration is doing good. Somebody just made a promise. I can come here and say I will give $100,000 to Lone Star. Until that money is delivered, you can go and say, oh, Moses Sandy is, supporting football. So I think the UP made a lot of promises. And Mr. Tagbe, when you have behind the scene discussion with these people, tell them the truth, that the promises they made, they need to deliver. And they are not delivering.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on this for just
Dave,
2 seconds.
Dave,
No, but Moses.
All right, just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we can't let them be
It
dragging
can't
us.
be 30 seconds. Be 1 minute.
No,
No, 1 minute.
No, 30
yeah,
seconds.
Okay, Moses just said.
I know you are energized.
No,
you are
no, no, no.
spirited.
No,
After
no.
your long hours meeting.
No. The first thing that
the manager had a meeting with the information minister.
Moses is telling me that I don't know what I'm talking. He said, what is David Tagbe boasting about his government? And he talks about what the other people have done. Look, Moses, let's be realistic. It's not a matter of being unnecessarily critical. This is realistic. I'm speaking realistically. That President George Weah did little or did nothing at all in terms of motivating the national team, the Lone Star, or players of national team, the Lone Star. He did little. As a man who is a soccer icon, internationally acclaimed an icon, soccer icon, did little or did nothing at all in terms of waking up the sleeping national team, the Lone Star. And Lone Star dismally performing all this international engagement. Someone you can disagree.
Okay, Dave, let me hold you there. Dave, let me hold
Then
you
he
there.
said, this little intellectual
so-
boy sits here and he wants to
No, I wouldn't encourage
No,
the
that's
president to
unfair.
interject.
That's unfair.
No, please.
No, someone,
David always suffer from insecurity.
Mr. Weir, Mr.
and,
Weir,
and that is the reason. No, someone come on, 1 minute.
Back and forth with
And
this.
that is the reason. No, we gotta make the clarity.
This is not.
No.
This is
I
not.
mean, you have nothing to defend here.
David is surviving
Mr. Weir,
from
you have nothing to
noise.
defend here.
Normally, I was told from my school of intellectualism and mass communication that you will only have a journalist. You will only have a journalist surviving in noise if he doesn't have any sense to make. I'm saying to you David cannot dismiss all of the investment on a WIA administration in sports. The first and foremost, since
What
that,
investment? You
come
talk
here,
about
hello, sir.
Sports part.
Hello, sir.
No,
You gotta exercise
please,
restraint.
one
No,
minute.
he got to be.
One minute.
David got to exercise
No,
restraint.
1 minute. Let me come in. 1 minute. Let me come in to end this whole debate on concerning this because we have issues to talk about. Now, yes, former President Weah may not have done all what we expect him to have done. But the fact that he played the game and we expected that he would have given more support or generated more support for the team, granted. But if we want to do an honest comparison here, Tabwe, how many games have we won under this administration? What are the key indicators that this administration has done more for sports than the previous?
So are you being rhetorical?
No, I'm coming
are
now.
you being rhetorical
Wait,
or are you
wait.
asking
No,
me to
Dave,
answer?
no, I'm not asking you a question. I'm not asking you a question.
But I have
No,
to
I'm
respond.
coming. No, listen, Dave.
I have to respond.
Listen. How much? How many games have we won? How much have the administration done for sports? No, Dave, I don't want us to dwell on this as one of our major topics here. It was just something.
But it's important.
Come, listen.
It's important.
Dave, we'll find
Someone-
time. Listen, we'll find
We
time
don't
to
have
talk
to
about.
always talk
We'll
about
find
politics.
time
Let's
to
talk
talk.
about
No,
the
listen.
national team.
Listen. We'll find time
So,
to talk
but
about
the first
sports.
thing, David cannot come to the. David cannot allow to discuss the issue.
1 minute.
Why he is ill-informed.
1 minute. But if you look at or you reflect on some of the positive things that were done during the last administration for sports, you can compare it with what this administration has done. Yes, we agreed. The plan is in the offing. We agreed that the president has decided to raise some resources for the team. We agreed. That we welcome that. We commend the president for that. But if you look at, you want to compare as to what was done previously, before and now, Dave, we give credence to, we give the recognition to the last administration.
So
That's
you
okay.
now
We gotta go further.
comment on that.
We gotta go further.
I know you were there.
No, yeah, but
Just a second. I just want to dismiss the false move from David Tagbe. He said that we administration. Yeah, listen.
Someone wouldn't allow me to read.
Okay, Mr. Tagbe made a very wild claim that is unsupported by evidence. He said that we administration did nothing for soccer. Nothing doesn't equate to what dismal performance. And we all said it here, that soccer under we administration was not adequately supported. However, that does not mean that the administration did not do anything for soccer development in Liberia. So, Mr. Tagbe, you need to take that back. Underperformance doesn't mean to what? Doesn't mean nothing. And you said nothing. That's what you said. And that's not true. So let me stop there.
all right, so gentlemen, let's move on. The president today is Excellency Joseph Imabara. Today held
So Moses go free, right?
Let's
no,
move on,
please.
my
Today
man.
held
Moses
the
goes free?
24th,
Let's stick to our topic.
edition
Okay,
of
go ahead.
his cabinet meeting today, and I want us to play the tape quickly and see and listen to the president in his introductory remarks, and see what we'll have something talkable from that meeting today. Let's play the tape quickly.
Come to the attention of the public that you need to know there are other things that have happened even as of this morning that probably bring to your attention. Maybe in that case the Minister of Justice will make that announcement. But all in all, is about this country, is about making sure that this glorious land of liberty will continue to be ours. And it can only be ours if all of us can protect it. I can tell you There's nothing in my vein ever to pursue anybody, even if you are the worst, except for the right thing. And so I go to bed and sleep. And what we're doing is something that we have to do. So today we'll be talking about procurement. Sometimes people get frustrated about all what you have to do to go through to buy this and what. But just imagine if these things were not in place. And even if they're in place, that people there were not implementing them. The resources you're talking about, you will not have them. So you need to know about procurement. We need to know what it is in place and how it's been done, the benefit of it. And the cabinet needs to know. But besides procurement, in the sense of procurement, it helps.
All right, so gentlemen, one thing the president said that he will go to bed and sleep well because he believes he's doing nothing wrong, and all what he's doing is in the interest of the country. And if one who critically analyze what the president was saying, or what he was referring to, or speaking to, is exactly what happened on the ground regarding the narcotics, the arrests of the former president and
Former vice
and the
president.
former vice president, and the pursuit of those who are found within the or are alleged to be part of the cartel. Now, let's hear you, Taba. Your takeaway. What does this statement? What does it indicate? What does it mean to you? Let's hear you.
Well, what it means to me is that the president goes to bed relaxed, having nothing to worry about. The fact that he feels like he's doing the right thing. As far as the laws or the Constitution of the Republic is concerned, he's doing the right thing. He's not falsely running after people because they were part of the former government, or they are people he doesn't like as a president. So he's going after them. But those who's been gone after are people who've been accused. And then as far as the law is concerned, people who are accused of committing major crimes have to be called to order, have to, answer some questions. And if necessary, be put into jail or go send to court. And then that's exactly the president. As far as he's concerned, he's doing nothing wrong. He's applying,
He's in line. What he's doing is in line with the law.
He's applying the rule of law,
Okay.
making Liberia a country where people respect the law, people do the right thing and not the wrong thing. First of all, Sabbath, if people misbehave or commit crimes and go with impunity, that means that you building the country, or you govern the country, making it to be, a country where there's no law and order, and driving investors away, or potential investors away, who will see their justice systems in the weak, or seeing Liberia as a country where the justice system does not prevail, and it's a country where people commit crimes and go with impunity.
Okay.
So that's the kind of precedence the country, the government, not for himself, not for the current generation, but for generation to come.
Okay,
So
let me
people
know you.
don't
Let me
commit
know you,
crimes,
Tabo. I think-
commit crimes and go with
I think you
impunity.
spoke on sufficiently on that.
And that's something that is commendable, Sabo.
Okay, viewers kindly share the show, share the live video. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Now, what is your takeaway? What did you absorb from what the president said, Mr. Will?
So, the president spoke And you could understand from his concluding statement, he was so much emphatic about procurement. And that is why I'm even here sitting laughing about why would David be speaking, oh, the will of God, the will of God. The clip he just play. The person was
The
talking.
president said he will go to bed and sleep well. I mean, not thinking about anybody coming after him because he believes he's doing the right thing in the interest of people.
Yeah, so but again, like I said yesterday, the president, for me as a person, I cannot. In fact, I may not. Let me not say I can. I may not want to blame the president for some of the things he says, and the reason is simple. I've been around. I've been in the media thing for a little while, and I've been privileged to have been interacting with schools of government officials, senior officials who have been around the presidency. And I do understand that the presidency, you could just see the individual, like the way the President Baga is. You could just see President Baga as the president, yes. But that individual you see, it is not he who making decision. Those who making decision, they are referred to as the presidency, or better still, they are into the presidency. And that is why when somebody takes on that position, they have a versus on political affairs, on political affairs, they have a versus on security affairs, they have a versus because the president may not be or may not know all of these different actors, or may not know all of the different affairs, or he may not understand the basic clue of all of these different happenings. So under our law, it is required that you will have to appoint political affairs officer, legal affairs officer, and so forth. Now, that is where that is where I share the belief that indeed this is the point that the president must listen independently. The president must follow.
Let me hold you there. Let me hold you there. Because the question I ask you.
I go to the question.
No, but I want you to answer the question. The president did say today that he's doing nothing wrong. As far as he's concerned, he can go to bed and sleep well because what he's doing is in the interest of the people. And if you critically look and listen to what the president said, he was directly making reference to what is unfolding. So look, people being arrested, I'm doing nothing wrong. Former vice president is in jail, I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm fighting exactly. And he said almost something of that nature last night in his speech. What a takeaway there? What's your takeaway?
So but the first thing is that the president was being very unjust to the Liberian people. That is the most respectful manner I can refer to the president's utterance.
Okay, let me hold you there.
So
let me hold you there. You made your point already. Moses, let's hear from you. From the short clip we play about the president. Let's hear from you.
So, what the president said, unfortunately, is the paradox, the irony of what is happening in the country. He's trying to tell us that he stands in defense of the rule of law. You live in Liberia. I don't live there. But anyone who looks at happenings in Liberia objectively will agree with me that President Bouakai, what he said doesn't reflect the reality on the ground. And I can give you several examples here. You have a minister of justice. You have a director of police that continue to struggle to clear themselves of allegations regarding how vehicles were secured for the Ministry of Justice and the police. In the wake of that, the president mustered the courage to go public. He said, look, Greg, I stand with you 100%. Is that rule of law? The director of police is prosecuting people He's making allegations, unsubstantiated. And you come, you say, you stand with him 100%. Is that how you uphold the rule of law? Let's take the president to the very procurement thing he's talking about here. With reference to rule of law. You guys live in the country. Can anyone tell us the project in FOIA, before that project was awarded, can anyone tell us whether there was any bidding process? That's part of procurement. Did anyone compete? Was the legislature kept in a loop? You spend over $6 million United States dollars in the absence of what? Legal approval from the legislature. You did not submit to the public procurement process. And you're talking about rule of law? Mr. President, you're talking about rule of law. You say, oh, you know, I can go to bed and sleep. But look, your son communicated with people who came across as what? Cartels. How did they get his number? Did you tell your son to say, hey, go and talk to the police? We don't just want you to come and write a statement, but go and talk to the police. And you're talking about rule of law?
Okay.
Are you not cherry picking?
Let's go there, Moses.
Let me
go
stop there.
Can I
Okay.
speak on this?
I'm coming to you, Tabwa.
Okay.
Let's hear your version.
Yeah, my version is, look, you know, it's unfortunate that Moses is almost like he's not comprehending, you know.
You've been strong of your words. He's
Like-
not comprehending.
Yeah, because of his own interpretation and analysis
How-
of what
how-
the trending
No,
development.
David,
The
how do you
first-
tell?
first of
How
all-
do you tell your fellow panelists that he's not comprehending?
Yeah, the fact that his interpretation and analysis of the issue about is what makes me to say that. And then, and I'm sorry if you're
I
uncomfortable
know.
with
I
that.
think if you
Uh-huh.
told him he's disconnected in his argument, okay, granted. But if you
Disconnected
say that he's
and
not comprehending,
disconnected
it
and not.
sounds more insulting.
Okay,
you know?
okay,
Yeah.
sounds harsh. Okay,
Okay.
I apologize
Yeah,
for that.
surely.
I apologize, and I hope that Moses doesn't take me to tax for that. The
Go
fact
ahead
that
and
I
respond. Let's
apologize.
hear your
But the
version.
first thing is the president emphasized on the issue of procurement, how people should exercise restraint. You have to go through the procurement process. That tells you that the president is supporting that process, that principle of that procurement principle, that whatever you do, go through the procurement process. The president
Moses
said
made
that.
a reference to the rule of law.
The
Here.
real- yeah, now
The
coming
president- okay, fine, go ahead.
to
Yeah, go
that.
ahead.
I try to issue
Go
the
ahead, go ahead.
speak on the
Yes,
issue.
go ahead.
The president spoke positively about the issue of procurement, the procurement process, that people should not feel frustrated. And I heard that word, frustrated. He used the word frustrated. People shouldn't feel frustrated about maybe the delays or, you know, mustering the courage or the energy to go through the procurement process. People shouldn't feel frustrated about, but you go by the procurement. We're talking about the rule of law. Moses said the president sounded paradoxical, and what the president says is not realistic of the trending development now or the real issues. This is the man who has always repeatedly said that he's not in Liberia, he's in the United States. We are here, we should know better. But at the same time, he creates the impression that he knows more than we do in Liberia. We who are here, resident here, he knows more than we do, or he knows better than we do. So he has always, you know, spoken on the issue, disparagingly about some of us who are looking at things from the optimistic point of view. You know, so Moses, the first thing is the president is doing the right thing. Let's be nationalistic here and not put aside our emotions and political affiliation. The president has been realistic. The president told you that, look, whatever he's doing is within the confines of the law. And so he goes to bed and relax. He doesn't have anything to worry about. He's doing the right thing. When people who do the right thing, people who already do the right thing, have clear conscience. They feel relaxed. They don't feel like a burden on their shoulders because they've been realistic with issues. They don't pretend. They don't carry burdens on their heads or on their shoulders, wanting to impress the ordinary people or wanting to impress the Liberian people for votes tomorrow. He doesn't do that. He's been realistic. The law is the law. And one of my disappointments is in Nimba County Senator Sama Koga. Sama Koga, who's as a senator, as a member of the legislature, spreading misinformation that there are people who are being shielded by the government. As a senator, that's what the public is saying. That's what is in public domain, that the president's son and others have linked to the drug cartels, but they've been shielded by the government. A senator is relying his argument on criticisms, on gossips. They say street talk. Can you imagine that? That's unfortunate of a senator. And Moses sits over there, and he's saying that the president is sounding paradoxical and shying away from the real issue.
Okay.
Anytime he comes on the show, he talk about the FOIA project. That's the only argument Moses has always proffered here about FOIA project. That President Walker built that place for him to live there.
Is it not justified?
It's not justified. Moses has not provided any
How much have you heard? How much have you heard about the FOIA project that you put in your public agenda?
What?
How much have you heard?
You know how I always have to make reference.
All right,
to
granted.
public
All right,
agenda.
okay, I take that back. But how much have you heard?
You better take it back.
How much detail have you heard about the FOIA project?
The FOIA project, at the appropriate time, you will go after it.
All right,
Moses
let
is
me
curious
let
and
me
no.
hold you there.
No.
Because the point is,
let me land on it. Somebody, I beg you, 30 seconds.
1 minute.
30 seconds.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute.
I hold your phone.
No, 1 minute. You said Moses.
Let me do not bat him.
No, we're not speaking crew yet. You said Moses always cited the issue of the FOIA project.
Now, and he has nothing to say on that.
I'm coming.
Always
I'm
say,
coming.
FOIA
That's the reason why I ask you, how much detail have you heard?
Do I have to come here? That's not an issue here. That's
Mr.
not an issue here, Sabah.
Let's hear you quickly.
That's not an issue.
You know, it's obvious to see the way David Tower sounds.
He always, this guy likes me. He likes me.
Dave, 1 minute, the man is speaking.
David was speaking here. I didn't even open a word.
Go ahead, come.
But let's address the uncomfortable truth in the room.
Uncomfortable truth.
Now, the president spoke about procurement process. That was the first introductory comments when I made on the president's speech. The president had his 24th cabinet meeting. And in that meeting, which were key was procurement processes. That falls straight with the PPCC. Now, let's ask ourselves, given the numerous allegations.
We want to call it numerous now. No, let me specific.
Numerous.
Numerous.
David.
Is there a word called numerous?
David, please.
But there isn't a word called
you want
numerous.
land, but you want
1 minute.
pretend.
1 minute, William. Mr. William.
There isn't a word called numerous.
David wants to land,
The
but
man
he wants to
confusing the
pretend.
public, my man.
David.
There's a word called enormous.
Come, excuse me, Mr. William.
What do they call it? Numerous.
Enormous.
David.
ENORMOUS.
No,
Enormous.
I want to learn from you now.
No,
So if you want to learn, you gotta humble yourself, David. You gotta humble yourself. If you're not familiar with the words, you gotta be honest.
Dave, you're not going to degenerate the program into any shouting match. The man is speaking. You spoke. Please allow the man to learn.
Okay, sir.
I even spell the word for him for a curiosity.
Go ahead, Mr. William.
So, given the enormous allegations involving the Inspector General and the Minister of Justice, there is a need for the president at this point to even talk about initiating a probe. But the president spoke yesterday. He said he will apply the law equally. That is the
We'll go into that,
Yeah.
but
So let me conclude. I know
Okay, conclude, yeah.
that's part of our specificity. Now, if we say that the law will be applied equally, or if what the president said that look, we will make sure procurement processes are done in accordance with the law. You really don't think that it was the president prerogative or it was part of the president's responsibility to say, look, Mr. RG, Mr. Justice Minister, there have been reports in the public about alleged vehicle, about alleged, gifts from the purported or reported Capone or drug cartel, whatever. I think there's a need for it to
But
clarify.
okay, so
now,
let me come
now,
in. No, let me
there
come
is
in.
a-
No, 1 minute, 1 minute. I think let me try to draw the check from here. I don't think the meeting today concerning
the
procurement, I don't think it came against the backdrop of what is happening between the LMP and the Justice Ministry.
Yeah.
But the question is now, the fact that, and let me put this to Moses, the fact that the issue of procurement can come on the table, especially when we've been hearing about procurement processes when are followed in the purchase of the police vehicles and all of that. Moses, do you have the feelings that there's a problem with procurement in our government?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is the argument that we are making. We're looking at procurement in keeping with what? Rule of law. That's why the Public Procurement Commission was established. That they will vet companies. Whenever government decide to make purchases, there will be what? Bidding processes. You have an agency of government called the GSA, responsible for fleet management. You have a law on the book that says what? Government doesn't buy what? Used vehicles. You have a director of police who said he came to the United States and bought what? Used vehicles. You have the Minister of Justice telling you that they got 22 vehicles from a Dutch company, a serious allegation. In the wake of that, in violation of the laws of the country, the president says he stands with the minister. He stands with the director of police. The man has what? His trust and confidence. He said that publicly. And let me go off a little bit and talk to my brother David Tagbe. Oh, look, Tagbe, I can be sleeping at night, they wake me up. And they said, discuss Liberia, they bring you on. I can beat you 100% because I do research. You live in Liberia. I know Liberia more than you. You don't read, you don't know the issues. I follow Liberia religiously. I do not live there. I have access. I have access to information which you don't. So when I speak, I make sense. When you speak, you talk what? Nonsense, because you don't know the issues. That's what the guy told you. You spoke out of ignorance.
Let me hold you
Thank
there,
you.
Moses, and let Tower come
You know,
come with his
I
reaction.
admire Moses. Moses has been a long time professional friend, when he was in Liberia. So
Please speak to the microphone, please.
actually, I don't mean to disparaging to talk about Moses, but being a realist, I say things as I feel, not sometimes intending to feel anybody to feel bad. But Moses, he has a thin skin. He has a very thin skin. He wants to be an intellectual, but he has a thin skin. Anytime you become critical of Moses, I mean, he becomes emotional. And then that's how it always sounds, that he knows better than me. He's on top of things more than me. But that's Moses. That's what Moses says. And I don't feel bad about that.
Okay, let's put that aside.
I don't feel
The,
bad
the
about
issues that you raised,
Mhm.
are they not genuine issues?
What issues are that?
You
What
didn't
are
listen
the-
to Moses?
What are the issues? As far as I'm concerned, the president spoke about the importance of procurement, people going through the procurement process. That's what the president was emphasizing. The president was not saying or supporting those who are straying away from the procurement process or doing things, buying logistic. What is this? I think there's a feedback right there.
No, that's already handled.
Okay, that's handled. Okay, you've already handled that. The president was saying that, look, you have to go through the procurement process. That's why he was promoting that the procurement process is very important, and that people should exercise restraint. Put aside. I mean, try to
Now, Moses
try to-
is
try to
saying,
cope with
Comrade,
the.
Moses is saying there is an issue
Mhm,
with procurement in our government.
mhm.
And he started the issue of the purchasing of vehicles for the police.
Yeah, and Saba, I know where you're going. Moses is
Do you
cited-
share his views or not?
Moses, as a Liberian, as a maybe, I'm not too sure, maybe a patriotic Liberian or a nationalistic Liberian, Moses is quite correct about his concern about the procurement process. And that's similar concern that President Bouaga shares, that people should not be purchasing logistics or other things outside of the procurement process. If you listen to President Kinley, he said, look, we have to go through the process. We have to exercise patience in going through some of the hurdles, involved in terms of going through the procurement process to buy logistics for an agency, the government or the ministry. And that's what the president was promoting or elevating, that people should purchase or buy things within the procurement process. And that's what the president emphasized.
Okay, now
So there's
now-
nothing
okay.
Moses said
All right.
that is different from what the
Okay,
president
now,
said.
okay, let's come to you quickly, Mr.
So this is clear. I'm glad that David Tagbe is trying to validate the irregularities about the manner and form through which some of government agencies have procured vehicles. For the fact that the president even make that as a priority on his agenda for the cabinet meeting, that shows or that speaks to the greater extent that they have reached the decks of the president. And I want to dive into the allegation of Martin Colley, right? But for the sake of public curiosity, what Martin has been posting, it was Martin posted at first on Biago, and the president acted upon Martin allegation. The president instructed, in fact, he instructed over even.
We're talking about
Hello,
procurement.
hello, sir.
Moses, why?
Hello, sir.
Sabo.
Hello, sir.
We're talking about
Hello,
procurement.
sir.
Dave, 1 minute.
You gotta exercise restraint on the show. I mean, you gotta exercise restraint.
Okay, sir.
So the president acted upon Martin allegation. He instructed the Ministry of Justice to initiate a probe into Biako's case. After 24 hours, Biako was relieved of his position. Now, the very
No,
same.
you are not relieved. He stepped aside on his own. At his own volition, he stepped aside.
Sometimes-
Let's inform the public.
sometimes-
Sabo, why
No,
are you not
Judge,
writing a check for
no,
him?
Sabo,
Let's
Sabo,
inform the public.
Dave, no, 1
Sabo,
minute.
He's misinforming
Sabo,
the public.
information.
You can't-
Information,
no,
Saba.
Why
Information.
is
Saba.
why is
let's
Where, Mr. Ware, Mr. Ware,
go ahead, go ahead,
information.
Moses?
And that is why I give my brother David Tagbe, every time when you talk, you just make yourself to look bad. The man did not recuse himself. Initially, he asked to step aside. The president gave 48 hours as an ultimatum for an investigation. Following
24,
that,
not 48, 24.
no, 48 hours. Man,
No, the president get 24
No,
hours.
but then it is 48 hours.
2 days.
It's 48 hours.
2 days.
You live in Liberia, my brother. 48 hours.
No, I live in
The
Ghana.
man gave-
Where we're going.
the-
Tackle-
1 minute, man, Dave.
Mhm.
Dave, you
The
can't
man
be-
gave, the president
But
gave
my show
48.
is called the
No,
nighttime
no,
heat.
but that's not the issue.
I'm not going to
You
allow
can
people
raise
to
the
come.
heat, Dave.
Uh-huh.
When the man had already spoken, you can come with your
I
pushback.
ju-
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
raise the
just
heat,
want-
Mr.
Mr.
Dixon.
Dictator.
yeah,
Okay,
I
Mr.
just
Dictator.
want-
I will listen to you.
I just want to provide this information. The information I want to provide is that after the 48 hours, the Justice Ministry reported to the president, and predicated on that report, the president suspended Biago and removing. So
From the
Biago did not step aside. The
Okay.
president suspended and removing.
Let's not go back and forth.
Thank
with
you.
that. Now,
So,
no, 1
so I
minute.
was in speech. So,
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
so let me conclude. Now, talking about the procurement process, that which Sandy conceptualized, that was on the rule of law. Talking about the procurement process, which also has to do with the rule of law. Now, there's a serious issue in the public about how police vehicles were procured. And the president said in his cabinet meeting that look, his government, or there's a need to comply with the rule of law, especially with the procurement process. Then let's ask ourselves, with the allegation in the public about how several police vehicles, including vehicles that are being used by the Ministry of Justice, how they were procured and today they are in use. These procurement processes did not follow the PPCC channel. That is a huge allegation up to now. Up to now, the government, through the Ministry of Justice or the Liberian National Police, have not spoken as to whether they have produced the PPCC report to the public or the financial report from the Ministry of Finance or the duty-free from the Liberia, or let's say the Liberia Revenue Authority, because these are coordinated agencies that are responsible about how government vehicles can be brought into the country or how government vehicles can be procured if they are being procured out of the country. Now, up to now, the vehicles on the question from the Liberian National Police, there is no what we call PPCC report about that. There is no Ministry of Finance documentary trace about that.
Okay.
There is also no
right,
Liberia
let me
Revenue
hold you
Authority
there.
duty-free about that.
Let me hold you.
So you see the allegation?
Let me hold you there. Now, in almost relative to what you're talking about, let me read this piece of information, and it's being attributed to Bapolu County Senator Amara Corner. Senator Corner is calling on the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia National Police to publicly release all relevant documents surrounding the procurement and registration of vehicles reportedly purchased from the United States and the Netherlands. According to Senator Corner, concerns and rumors are rumors. According to Senator Corner, concerns and rumors are circulating regarding police vehicles allegedly purchased from Minnesota, luxury SUVs assigned to government officials, and vehicles registered in the names of private. Okay, now you are speaking to the allegations that are flying around. That some of the government vehicles that were purchased were registered in private
individual names.
And also he's asking that documents, procurement documents,
Should be provided public.
Should be provided. Now, it's something, Dave. Now let me read it. Dave, isn't this a valid concern to you?
Well, it's a valid concern, but my only problem is that, look, people like Senator Cornyn, they have good ideas, but the way they present the ideas creates an impression that they want to make themselves politically relevant, almost seeking political relevance, because they have every right, every power to get to some of these places like the PPCC as a lawmaker, and sometimes many of them forget that they are part of the government. You know, some of them it sounds as if they're not part of the government, but the legislature is the first branch of the government, and they should know that. And sometimes when they're speaking as if they're outside the government. If you have a problem, for instance, the problem that has to do the procurement process, Senator Cornyn, you have every power to get to the procurement office or the PPCC office to raise these concerns internally before even coming public. The fact that you
So
can't,
are you insinuating that he's wrong?
no, Saba, that isn't what I'm saying. I did say initially that, look, Senator Cornyn and others have good ideas. I said that. And let me reiterate that. They have good ideas. Cornyn is one of the smartest and well-educated and experienced politicians we have.
Let's not pacify him. But the question I ask you, isn't the concerns he's raising, aren't they genuine?
I'm not saying they're not genuine.
Okay, let me hold
But
you.
the processing of this concern.
What is the processing?
The processing of these concerns is what I'm
This
talking
is an
about.
issue,
The processing
Tabitha,
is
Dave,
Dave, give me a chance. Let me land on the one. The processing, the way Senator Cornyn and others process their ideas or recommendations to the government to make things right. It creates an impression as if
so
they want to make themselves hero of themselves or create political
Dave, I differ with you on that. What is wrong?
That's my opinion,
What is wrong with
Saba.
a senator
That's my
coming
view.
up to say, look,
That's my view,
you've been
Saba.
hearing this. We think these documents that are being claimed by government officials that they follow the processes. We want documents of this nature to be.
When was the last time,
What is wrong with
Saba?
that?
Saba, well, I'm not saying.
asking
Look,
what is wrong with
I'm not being dismissive of Senator Cornyn's concerns. What I'm saying is that I'm very dismissive of the processing of the ideas. When was the last time Senator Cornyn visited the PPCC to compare those with the head of the
Does he have to
CPPP?
go to the PPCC?
He has
No,
to.
David.
Before
Let me
coming
hold you there,
public,
let me hold you there, let me
you
hold
go
you
to
there.
the,
Dave,
because
let me hold
you
you
are
there.
part of
Dave,
the
let me
government.
hold you there.
You are
Mr.
part
Leon,
of the government.
let's hear you.
You can sit on the shoulders
Senator
of the
Cornyn
man
is
and say he has
asking.
things.
No, let Dave, please, man. You have to cough because you're going off the tangent now. Senator Cornyn.
Always, that word is suffering in your mouth.
Let's go.
Tangent.
You
The
go
other
ahead.
man by a
No,
B word
no,
has
please, 1 minute, 1 minute,
specificity.
start cursing us. 1 minute.
Specificity.
Now,
By a B
comrade,
word, you can
let's
always use
let's
it.
hear from you. Regarding Senator
I have a
Cornyn's
serious problem with you guys.
Let's hear from you.
You know, my grandmother always told me, I can remember, she said the last time I had a conversation was, she said, oh, people normally will struggle.
Okay. I look at somebody who struggle in expressing my views. No.
Yeah, please, David.
Oh,
David, please, let's allow the man to land. Go ahead.
people would normally struggle if they want to make a point for no reason. And that is just the case of David Tagbe. But however it is, let me say this. With what happening right now, and given the fact that the case of the ongoing drug investigation, if you want to reconnect me with also specific question asked to David Tagbe, the paper player will come in.
We asking whether Senator Cornyn has a genuine concerns because we just read an article attributed to him.
Oh yes, so of course, and I'm glad that
And
David.
this is the article. Let me read again once again.
Yeah,
so
go
you can,
ahead.
so you can follow. Senator Amara Cornyn calls on Justice Minister and Police Director to publish all procurement documents, GSA asset registration, MFDP payment version, and LRA duty waiver of all vehicles purchased from USA and Netherlands amid cocaine scandal.
That is very logical. Supper. In fact, you do not need a Desmond Williams to come and tell you how logical that is. We cannot. I just said it. I mean, before you go and read that, I was talking about the Ministry of Justice should produce the PPCC document, the Ministry of Finance, the trace of the budgetary allocation for that procurement process. They should even produce the document from the Liberia Revenue Authority, the duty waiver about how because as per reports as per the release from the Ministry of Justice, it shows that the vehicles were procured out of the country, not in the country. So it means that it must have a duty free. So, and that can only be provided by the Liberia Revenue Authority. So that is why I said there's a need that these basic public documents should be provided.
Okay, let me read it. Moses, what's your view on this?
Look, my view on it is that the senator is absolutely right. What he said is a compliment to the argument I just made. Procurement. And the senator is saying, look, we have concern. Bring us the evidence. And the police has not been able to provide the people of Liberia, the taxpayers, the evidence. And I felt very sad when I heard my brother David Tagbe put a sitting senator down like that. He said the man is looking for relevance. I mean, it's below the belt. It's below the belt. David Tagbe, do you know Amara Kone? The man has gotten to the level of what? Prominence. Former Minister of Finance. And you said the man seeking relevance? The man is Senator, Senator by Public County. The name Amara Kone is news. It's news. Prominence in journalism as an element of news. And you say the guy is looking for relevance? I mean, you can't do this, man. You can't do this. You can't come here and disgrace. You can't come here and disgrace our public. You can't come here and disgrace our public officials. You have the right to disagree with them, but you have the tendency of always insulting our people, and that's absolutely wrong. Don't do that.
I think Moses needs to check for the word insult. Why do you call it insult? Did I insult Amara Kone? I just disagree with his opinion. I felt that as an insider, a member of the first branch of the government, has every right, has every power or opportunity to discuss some of the issues internally with the people who are heads of these public agencies or institutions like the PPCC, and coming up, without even visiting the PPC, probably not visiting the PPCC, you're being unnecessarily critical. No one says that what you say doesn't make sense, but at least, man, you compare those with the PPCC people and find out what's actually going on that you're not understanding. Now, Moses is talking about, look, Moses reminds me of Samuel Koga, the Nimba County senator, who was saying, because the vice president, former vice president, Joel Taylor served as first lady of the Republic of Liberia, senator and vice president. And so, she's supposed to have been given exceptional treatment. Preferential treatment. Let me put it that way, preferential treatment. And the fact that she wasn't treated preferentially, the government was wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, Samuel Koka is making a mistake. This is the same thing I'm talking about, seeking political relevance. The law is the law. The same Samuel Koga was accused.
No, but we are not. No.
I try to give a premise here. I'm trying to lay a premise.
You're wasting our time, man. You're going off topic. You're wasting our time. Don't do that.
Talking about what Senator Amara Kone said, and then you bring in Samuel Koga.
No, I'm trying to set a premise.
Let's.
So, wait.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's focus on what Senator Senator Amara
Kone. What I'm saying, Sabot, I'm trying to lay a premise about saying this allowed me no problem. Look,
It does not
Senator Cornell
coexist.
is talking about procurement. And President Walker at no time supported in his speech, supported the wrong or the manner in which, the wrong manner in which people go in about it, or people going doing things outside the procurement process. President Walker did not support that. President Walker said people should buy things or purchase logistics or other things for the government through the procurement process. He emphasized that, and we heard that. If you can replay the video here, he said that. He said people should exercise patience, to exercise restraining through in going through the procurement process.
Okay, let me
so
hold
he did not dismiss that. Amara Corner did not.
Let me hold you then. Now,
Yeah,
gentlemen,
that's
we
the
have to
point.
transition quickly.
Yeah,
That's the
before we
point.
transition,
You
Sobo.
listen, come here. You
People
listen
are
to the
just
Nighttime
talking.
Heat, rated on Prime FM 105.5. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. You want to watch the show online, either on your Facebook or your YouTube, just tap Nighttime Heat. And of course, you're going to subscribe and you follow the show online and enjoy the show as well. Besides, we are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We are streaming live on the program. Kindly share the live video so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight. Let's hear you.
So
We have
I
to
mean,
transition
David Taba is sounding very disingenuous to our constitution.
this guy
the
like my name.
1986 Constitution, Article 15, Chapter 3 of our Constitution that says every human being has the right to freedom of expression, be it whatever place. But yes, David Taba, who is now instructing a certain lawmaker that before he speaks, he must go in chambers. Before he talks, whoever he about to talk about, he must call that person in chambers. That is where David Taba is coming from. Then what is that? Has David Taba forgotten that every human being under our law has the right to freedom of expression under Article 15, Chapter 3? It's there. It's clear. So be senator or be a representative or be a lawmaker or whoever for that matter, you have a right to express, whether on your Facebook page, on your WhatsApp status, or on a radio station. It is your fundamental constitutional right. David Taba can take that from you.
Okay.
So that is clear. Now, with what being said by Senator Cornyn is factual. No, that is why I said the release of the Minister of Justice is more compellingly lazy. It is more interestingly busy
Have mercy on us.
to keep the man so focused of nothing else. Now, see the thing. You cannot be talking about, oh, you bought vehicles from Dutch, but then from lieutenants, you then produced the procurement report. Come to think about it. You said the vehicle you took for the initial vehicle that the IG, let's say the AG was using, which the Attorney General and Minister of Justice were using, you requested it from the Liberia National Police to the Inspector General. There is no report to that. There is no letter of request for that. You just come out with a very vague, a very lazy release to the public, thinking that Liberians are so dumb
Okay.
that they will
All
take
right.
anything
So
from.
let me conclude on this, gentlemen, so we can transition. I think we try to be a bit, should I say, hasty and making our conclusions.
No, don't say
I
our.
mean,
Don't include me. Don't include me into that.
1 minute there, please, man. When people talking, gotta listen. You can't continue to be causing havoc here. We are all asking, because since Mountain, posted all those videos and all of that, people have been asking as to how the vehicles purchased by the police were done. The Minister of Justice came up with his own version. He spoke about elsewhere that they got a vehicle from. Police spoke about elsewhere. Now, I think we need to give ample time, sufficient time to the LMP.
For what?
I come 1 minute. 1 minute. Like Senator Cornyn said, that it's better that they make public those documents that are associated with the purchase of the vehicles. Granted, I know the police do have, I know the Ministry of Justice also, they do have theirs. But let's give ample time, because if they don't, they know themselves. They know to themselves, are coming.
Ample time for what?
They know to themselves that if they don't provide or make those documents
Okay.
available or public, it could have a little dent on a character. So I know, they know that very well. So let's give the police, the time. Let's give the Ministry of Justice the time. They've already purchased the vehicle.
Can I ask you a question, Sabo?
I'll come in 1 minute. They've already purchased the vehicles. So let's give them the time. They'll make public all those necessary documents. As to allow sleeping dog to lie.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
We have
Sabo.
to transition.
Yeah, about the transition. Let me ask you a question. Why you think that, or don't you think that the police and the justice minister being very cognizant of the established PPCC law and the fleet management law of the GSA before procuring any government asset, don't you think that those vehicles that are already been procured or brought in by the police or whatever in the country, you really don't think that there are documents to that effect that we will have to give them, like you said, ample time? That we have to give them ample time. So how long will it take for the government, the police, and the Ministry of Justice to produce these pieces of documents?
It has come in the press
to the public.
It has come it's been in the press, and the public have been reading that, look, we need these documents. I know they're trying to get the documents from where it is or where they are, so also bring it to the public. Now, gentlemen, let's try to transition quickly.
No problem.
The president yesterday, and I want us to give a full analysis. I know yesterday we started, we didn't conclude. Analysis to the president's message yesterday to the public. Let's listen, take a listen, and then we can, we can discuss exactly what we understand from there.
Every person. Over the past several days, development in our country have sparked public discussion, concern, and in some cases, misinformation. As president, I believe it's my duty to speak directly to you, offer reassurances, and make clear that justice must be pursued firmly, fairly, and independently. When you entrusted me with the leadership of the country, you did so with a clear expectation that I would uphold the Constitution, govern with integrity, strengthen our institutions, and ensure that no one is above the law. Liberia faces serious challenges, but we are making deliberate progress toward the arrest agenda for inclusive development. Yet, none of our work in the economy, education, infrastructure, or public institutions cannot succeed unless it is anchored in the fundamental principle, the rule of law. One of the greatest threats facing our nation is the growing menace of illicit drugs and organized crime. Drugs are destroying young lives, weakening families, fueling violence, and threatening our country's future. Let me re-echo here that this is not a simple law enforcement issue. It is a national security and moral issue. Consistent with our pledge, my administration has intensified the fight against narcotic trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime. Our security institutions have been directed to act professionally, independently, and without fear or favor, working with a national and international partner to prevent Liberia from becoming a transit point for illegal drugs or a safe haven for criminal networks. Let me be clear, this campaign is deliberate, coordinated, and unrelenting. It is intended to defend the Liberian people, protect the Liberian character, and safeguard our nation's future. The national campaign against drugs and organized crime is not directed at any individual, party, or political movement. It is directed at conduct that threatens the safety, stability, and future of Liberia. In recent days, the arrest and detention of former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor has understandably drawn national and international attention. I assure every Liberian, our regional neighbors, and our international partners that former Vice President Joe Taylor is being treated in full compliance with the Constitution and the laws of Liberia. She is presumed innocent, has access to legal counsel, and is entitled to due process, which will be upheld. The former Vice President had been arrested and charged in accordance with our legal procedures. It is not the President's role to determine guilt or innocence. That responsibility belongs to our independent justice system. Our democracy will be measured not by how we treat those with whom we agree, but how faithfully we uphold the rights of every person who comes before the law. To those who have expressed concern, I say this: your concern is legitimate in democracy, but guilt or innocence must be determined by the courts, not by politics, rumor, conjecture, or public pressure. My administration will neither persecute nor shield anyone because of political affiliation, office, status, or influence. Whether one has held high office, served in government, led a business, or lived as an ordinary citizen, the law must apply equally to all. I commend the men and women of our joint security for their professionalism, courage, and devotion to duty. Despite pressure and attempts at intimidation and calculated misinformation, they must remain steadfast, impartial, and respectful of rights and dignity of all citizens. This fight cannot be won by government alone. I ask parents, communities, schools, religious institutions, traditional leaders, young people to reject misinformation, support prevention, report criminal activity through lawful channels, and allow due process to proceed.
Okay, so that's the message yesterday by the president to the people of Liberia. And one key line, David, I would like to begin with you. I have the speech before me, the written version. My administration will neither persecute nor shield anyone because of political affiliation, office, status, or influence, whether one has held high office, served in government, led a business, or lived as an ordinary citizen, the law must apply equally to all. Now, Dave, is it what you are seeing, hearing, reading, since the whole start of this narcotic probe?
Yes, of course. The law has been applied. Those who have been linked, that those who it has been proven have a link to the cartels were arrested and processed through the confines of the law. And that's exactly what the president is saying. You know, no selective justice, no matter who you are, no matter which position or what kind of position you must have held in previous governments or in the current government.
So that includes your conclusion. Does it include the former ORC Biago? Does it include Boladin? Does it include the rest of those who been named and linked to this?
The first thing,
including former vice
the
president?
first thing, the justice system is not running on the basis of gossips or unsubstantiated claims being made by people or street talk. If those who you name, if you feel that they were being cheated or they've been cheated.
Not if you feel. I'm asking a
And
question.
these are opinions. These are opinions of some Liberians, most especially the critics of the government, most especially those wanting to undermine the tight investigation, those wanting to create an impression that, I mean, the government is pursuing people who are non-partisans of the Unity Party, or people who are not official to the government. But someone, let me obvious, let me clear here without pretending that this government, as far as I'm concerned, has not gone after people because the part of the government or the part of the future former government or the part of a particular political party. And that's what the government is going after, those who it has been proven or some pieces of evidence have been provided that they have some link, and they have to go to court. And the president emphasized that go to court. It's the court that decides. It's the justice system that decides whether you are wrong or right. This is why he said that the former vice president presumed not guilty until proven.
Okay,
You
let
know,
me read it.
he said
let me
that.
read it.
And that applies to all other
Moses.
persons.
Okay, let me read it. Ask Moses. Moses, before I ask, let me read this line once again by the president. My administration will neither persecute nor shield anyone because of political affiliation, office, status, or influence, whether one has held high office, served in government, led a business, or lived as an ordinary citizen. The law must apply equally to all. Moses, since the start of this narcotic probe, is it what you've been seeing, hearing, and reading?
A very interesting question. And first, so let's come from the strength perspective here. Let me applaud the president for the pronouncement. But like you asked, and you guys live in Liberia, what the president said, is that what you see happening in the country? Don't you see a contradiction of what the president said and what is happening in the country? You made reference to Biago. Where is he? Is he being investigated? Boladin, who reportedly received 10,000 US dollars to give a cartel preferential treatment. Is that man not walking the streets of Monrovia? And Joel Howard Taylor is in prison? Patrick Joe from the NSA, the Deputy for Administration, that was accused of aiding and abetting the cartels. Is he not walking the streets of Monrovia? Police officers accused of aiding and abetting, transporting the drugs, are those people now walking the streets of Monrovia? Don't you see a contradiction? The president said one thing and we are witnessing different things in the country. Cartels came and called the name of his son. Has his son spoken to law enforcement? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The director of police came. He said the police has what? Credible information that the media is compromised. The media received bribed. But this man has not arrested one journalist. No media institution has been taken to court. Don't you see a contradiction from what the president said? The president said they will apply the laws. Don't you think that journalists should be prosecuted by now?
Okay.
Because the man said they have the evidence.
Okay.
And lastly, and lastly, so let me say this. Gregory Kuma also said, well, they have evidence. The higher ups in this government are linked to cartel. Has he produced it? Don't you see a contradiction from what the president said? Selective justice.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically,
You heard the line I read, right?
yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
I will speak to that if you just permit me the time. But let me speak to first and foremost. Or the president said one of the key things in the president's message was that I believed, in quote, I believed as a president, it's my duty to speak to you directly, unquote. The president said that. Now, if a president says this, that to speak to the citizen directly, given the magnitude of the drug crime, this ongoing drug investigation, the president spoke to the country on pre-recorded script. It was, to be honest, sober. That does not show the severity, the seriousness, and the urgency that the president himself attached to his message.
No, but this is not the first time.
No, I know. I mean,
No, this is not the first president who have done it.
it may not be.
Former President Salif did it. Former President Weah did it. President Boka is doing it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, sober.
The fact that his message had gone, I don't think we need to question why he had to use pre-recorded message. No.
Sober, it's not the first time. So the question is, whether it was done or whether it has been done yesterday, has it been good, especially on national security matters? I said no to that.
No, I'm coming.
Let me go.
Comrade.
With that.
The president spoke.
Let me go to another issue.
Come in 1 minute. The president spoke because he thought Liberians needed to hear from him. Now, had he not spoken again, people would have said, well, the president is quiet. With all what's happening, he's quiet. But he spoke now, he's questioning as to why did he use pre-recorded message.
Ghana and Araya, let me make Ghana as a case study. Ghana and Araya, John Dramani Mahama. I can remember there was a report from his country regarding the flood. The floods, if you follow the flood situation, at which time the president got into a helicopter and toured the entire city, the entire environment, that identical environment that got affected by the flood. When he was addressing the nation, he didn't use a pre-recorded script. You know why? You know why it is important for a president to speak the truth or life so that the people themselves can be able to validate the seriousness from the face of the president. You know why it's important in administration? That gives hope to the people you're leading. But if the president just comes to give a pre-recorded script and then people say, oh yeah, the president spoke. Many people just all that thing no, that's wrong. So that go to the substance of the issue. Now, that was one of the fault that I identified. I think it was not necessary. Now, the president also said in his speech that he have directed. We are not. No.
Hey, no. Listen now. We pinpointed a particular line that all of us are speaking to. If you want me to read again for you, I'll read. We pinpointed a particular line. The president said, my administration will neither prosecute nor shoot anyone because of political affiliation, office, status, or influence. whether one has held high office, served in government, led a business, or lived as an ordinary citizen, the law must apply equally to all. From the onset of the narcotics up to now, from the onset of the probe up to now, what the president says? Is that what you're seeing? Is it a reflection of what you see now?
That statement also contradicts the first statement of the president when he said that I have instructed security to act independently and morally.
How? How does it contradict that?
Good. We said on the show, let's agree, because when the president speaks about moral issue, that is not about legal issue. The president said he have instructed security agency apparatus to act independently and morally. That adjective is, or that adverb. Let me say that adverb, morally. That's an adverb.
You're not coming across.
No, coming now. It's part of his speech. Now, that does not have to do with legal issue anymore. Once the president said morally, now let's ask ourselves, given the gravity of what Martin and other people have been posting about the purported, procured vehicle being linked to the drug cartel, the vehicle being funded by the drug cartel, and the IG have received money from the drug cartel and even gifted, vehicle that has been sponsored or being funded by the drug cartel to the justice minister. All those issues are moral issues. For the fact that the president will measure morality in his speech, that look,
Mr. Wion, you are distorting our whole line of discussion here. I ask you a specific question. I read a line and I asked, from the onset of the narcotic probe, the narcotic investigation that's ongoing, do you see exactly? Are you reading exactly what the president mentioned in his speech?
But
I ask you.
But I don't know how.
But you're trying to.
I don't know why.
No, you're trying to. I know. You're trying to distort the fact. You're trying to go. I don't know, but let me come to Dave.
No,
Dave,
you don't have to go to Dave.
You
cannot say no, listen, you gotta be unfair this way.
Mr. Sandy. Yeah,
You ask me a specific question, and I will give you a specific answer. No, I will give.
Speaking to what I asked
I'm giving you a specific answer, and the specific answer is in consonance.
No,
to the fact that the president saying you have instructed John security to act independently and morally.
All right.
Now I come out to say, since the entire investigation started, we saw the issue about Biago. We saw the issue about Johnny Boladin. Let's come to the issue of Biago. Biago won the issue of Martin, a very same Martin.
No, we know all of that. Go ahead. You will know all of that. Go ahead.
So now Biago, not Biago, but the Johnny Boladin, who openly admitted on a criminal investigation, if a person admits of committing a crime under the law, that person will be forwarded directly to the court to go follow explain his admittance, or if for any reason.
So your argument is the law is not being applied equally,
but
right?
So I don't know why you want me to say this.
Let me hold you there.
I don't know why you want me to say this.
Let's hold you there and go to Moses.
There's a forum. There's a platform.
I just wanted to further simplify what you asked. The question you asked over was that the president's statement, does it align with the happenings in today's Liberia, especially regarding the ongoing investigation? And like Mr. Williams said, what the president said contradicts what is happening. It's the same position that I've taken. What the president said doesn't reflect the reality in the country.
Okay, let me hold you there, Moses. Dave, let's hear it quickly. Moses, let me hold you there. We got another line to talk about before we can open the lines. Go ahead.
Sabot, I'm a disciplined guy. The reason why sometimes uncontrollably, intervene or try to stop these guys from spreading their lies and misinformation is because, look, there are a lot of people listening to us. I heard William saying that, look, Saba, look, David, look, Moses, the president pre-recorded and did not do a live video. So whatever he said did not make any
No, I put
impact.
you on the spot.
You put in
yeah.
the spot, and then not like it. It's the first time I'm impressed with you that you've erected such a checkpoint.
Look at that. Look at that.
So many
It's the
times.
first time.
It's the first time.
David, don't be serious here. Go ahead. Go
The first thing is that you said, yeah, a president has so many things on hand to do. The president pre-recorded. In fact, that public address or the president address to the public was scheduled for that particular day. So if the president did pre-record it, there's nothing wrong with that. The first thing is that the fact that there was a schedule, a time set for the president to deliver the statement, and the president delivered it. The message went across. And you're talking about pre-recording or live recording. That doesn't make sense, my brother. The other thing you're talking about, some of this question you asked, talking about what is happening and what is not happening, whether the president, whatever the president must have said, whether it's a real issue. I mean, and Moses is saying that, look, the president is contradicting what is real on the ground. And I don't know what Moses means. I don't know what he means. Look, the president said that law is being applied equitably, administering the rule of law, no matter who's concerned, no matter who's involved, and no matter whatever, which position you must have heard, you must have held, or no matter what sort of relationship you have to the ruling party or President Bouakai himself. The law is the law, and the law will be applied. And I'm hearing names that people throwing around, Boladin, this person, that person. So don't you think that the president, or the justice minister, that put the president aside. So are you questioning the reasoning of the justice minister, that he doesn't know what he's doing, that Boladin and others, they should be held and they aren't being held? Is that why you're spreading? Is that a news you're talking about? That there's the impression you're creating that selective justice, people that are running around, walking around freely while others are being pursued. You're creating a wrong impression, my brother. You're lying to the public. You're spreading misinformation. And these are the things you tell your people when you go in your constituencies.
Okay.
You know, that's absolutely
All right.
wrong.
We are quickly.
That's
just for 30
absolutely
seconds.
wrong.
30 seconds.
Absolutely wrong.
So that's the thing. It is not Desmond who is trying to.
No, it is Desmond.
Hello?
It is you,
talking
Desmond,
about-
who lying,
so people
who's
control it.
spreading lies.
So, but please control the brother.
That's wrong.
David needs to exercise restraint. It's part of intellectualism. In fact, it's an ethics in public speaking.
You were saying use sensitivity.
No, it's an ethics in public speaking. When you speak, you remain quiet. When your colleague want to speak,
I'm quiet
it's an
now.
ethics.
I'm quiet
So
now,
apparently, he didn't.
I'm quiet, sir.
So now let me say this.
this.
It is not Desmond who's trying to generate or fabricate the perception of selectivity in the ongoing justice investigation. There have been a whole lot of perception, belief in the minds of other Liberians that indeed the ongoing justice investigation, there is a huge degree of selectivity. And there are indicators. Let's look at the most famous Joel Howard Taylor arrest. And that is where in fact that Joel Howard case, it is that case that contradicted the president's paragraph where he said that the law, in fact, he said the law is being treated. Joel Howard Taylor, he said former VP is being treated.
Struggling.
No, I want to get
You're
in quote.
struggling.
Hello, sir, please protect me.
You are struggling.
I want to get in quote. In quote, former VP is being treated in accordance with the law, unquote. Now, if you say a former vice president is being treated in accordance with the law, that is, from the day she was arrested, the law was applied onto where she is. Now, let's ask ourselves, when the woman was traveling to the airport, when the security apparatus barricaded her whole vehicles like a convicted criminal, was it a law? when she was never invited, neither written, to come to answer some charges or questions regarding drug, related case. And then she was arbitrarily arrested. Is that the law? And then the president comes to tell us that, oh, the former VP is being treated. Because when you use the word is being treated, you are using the present progressive form of the noun, of the verb, sorry.
All right. So
the present progressive form of the verb.
All right. So you made a submission. You made a submission. In the court of law, the lawyers can say, let me make my submission. Now, we have another line that I want us to treat tonight, but it seems that time has cut off us. We may likely, treat it tomorrow. But this is a line. The president said, I call on political and religious leaders, civil society, and public commentators to act responsibly. Differences of opinion are healthy in a democracy, but we must reject words and actions that incite violence, undermine institutions, or seek to intimidate those enforcing our laws. Now, how do you, let me begin with you, Tabwe. How do you understand this line?
Well, how do I understand it?
Yes.
Let me start a simple example.
Are people trying to intimidate those enforcing the laws? Opinion, civil society members or some political leaders are trying to intimidate those enforcing the laws, or are they trying to speak to incite violence? How do you understand?
Let me cite a typical example here. I don't know whether you follow Sabbath. Are we opening the lines?
Yes, go ahead, quickly.
Are we opening the
lines?
lines?
Yes, quickly. Yeah.
Sabbath.
So just for second.
Sabbath, this is a point. Let me start a classical example of what the president is talking about people citing violence. For instance, I don't know whether you listened to Alvin Wishart of the CDC. You know what he said? He said, if anything happens to former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, there'll be a transition government. Right? Did you hear that? Saba?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm asking, I'm not being rhetorical.
No, I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had
it been David Tagway, then I'm not on top of things.
No,
I'm not informed.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you are.
But who is Alvin Wishart in government?
Wait. You see that?
Go ahead.
Saba. Alvin Wishart was an official of government at the Ministry of what do you call it? Forestry. He was at the Forestry Development Authority. Alvin Wishart was at the Forestry Development FDA. I've never told you that. I'm here when I make mistakes.
Tell me a point.
So if I'm not saying the
make a point, David.
The Alvin Wishart, these are the insightful statements that people make. Alvin Wishart said, if anything happens to the former vice president, this government will come down and there will be an interim government. He said that. Is that not being insightful? He said that. The other thing about it is that the NPP, the National Patriotic Party, which Joel Howard is the standard bearer, did not issue such a statement. The NPP issued a statement calling for the due process and that the justice system, Joel Howard to them are giving due process.
Okay.
That's a responsible statement. No, wait. No, give me a chance. That's a responsible statement, came from the NPP, of which Joel Howard is a member and the standard bearer.
You said this earlier.
But the CDC, of which the former vice president, not a member, issued a statement.
Let's hear your version.
Issued an incitement statement citing violence.
We have to open the lines briefly.
So the president's statement could be well received if only members of the government were actually.
You don't have an argument yet, man. Someone open the lines, man. That man shouldn't waste our time. You are a freshman in intellectual discourses. You are a freshman. Open the lines. Someone let the guy shouldn't waste our time here.
So the president's statement would have had an argument if, for any reason, members within the government would have actually taken heed to that. But here's a contradiction. The president talking about people should not feel misinformation, disinformation within ongoing investigation. The Inspector General himself, what did he say? He said that in fact, senior members of the current administration and the past administration are allegedly linked to the cartel. Since he said that it's been over 3 months, how many persons from how many senior officials from the government and for past government have been arrested? It was just only one, and the one person who is in senior position from government has been from the past government, and that has been Dwight Howard Taylor. Now, Senator Amara Conan also spoke about that. The president also talked about they recognize people speaking their opinion, but they should not incite violence. Amara Conan, first and foremost, when the president appointed what's the name, or the guy who's to the LDA, Dana Zanga, Amara Conan wrote that, oh, Mr. President, we recognize the appointment of Dana Zanga, giving experience, but we want you to do more. Why you saw next? All of the entire redeemed apologists, Unity Party, surrogates, government, sycophants, all of them, they came about running on our post. In fact, they create a whole war zone wherein Deputy Minister for Public Affairs of the Ministry of Information, Dana Saro, went for a direct attack.
Okay, let me
to a certain senator.
Let me hold it. Most
So,
of hear you.
To tell you how intolerant the regime is becoming or has become, by the way. Let me have it this way.
Let's hear you, Moses.
Well, this is what I would like to say. Like the
Just 30
president
seconds.
said, yeah, what I would like to say quickly is the president is saying that we all should take precaution in terms of what we say and what we do. And like Mr. Williams said, this statement goes to what? The opposition and the people in government. If he wants people in the opposition to exercise precaution, don't say anything that will undermine the investigation, that will create political crisis, he should also be telling his people who are paid by the taxpayers that, here, if somebody disagree, don't go insulting the president's mouth. We don't want to know about people's religion. That would be my advice.
All right, let's take the first caller quickly. Let's hear you.
How you doing, my man? Enjoy your this is the last time I sign from this.
Let's hear you, Mr. Sion.
I will start from there, and we'll put money on phones to go after Moses Sandy then. Get more will on them who giving misleading information to all that. Mr. Sandy, you're not in Nigeria. Come on, don't be talking about Nigeria, man. You're talking your mind, you're not talking the reality in Nigeria. You told David Carboy that he was talking nonsense. He's not talking nonsense. What all these men saying on the radio, that they are all true. Let me tell you something. What Joseph Boakai just said of President Boakai, they are all reality. What the old man saying is what happening here. We have never been seeing that before. Man. Please, man.
Okay.
In America there. Let me end with this next story. How you call it? Amara Conan. Trouble. Amara Conan is a senator. He got a right to address those things. He got 100% right to call any of those people. Why would he leave the House of Legislature and be on radio platform and be on social media? We'll go after them. Now we'll put money on our phone.
Okay, many thanks. Let me take another call on the line quickly. Let's hear you. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. George.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you quickly.
Let me say good evening to the panelists. Aliyu Padikoma, me picking family joy from Rani Kawa era memory, the party in that lecture bill.
Okay.
You know, Mr. Tappe, having with your working with Ministry of Agriculture as assistant.
Okay, thank you.
Educate the man, David Tapway.
Thank you.
I did play with CDC man. You know, I know Mr. Sandy, what really want. Mr. Sandy, so you want to tell me somebody, maybe they can be president. Europe, and somebody just come on fee. They go on Facebook. They say, "Okay, Mr. Sandy on the George money." Then you say you go report yourself to the police, Mr. Sandy. That way telling me. So if you go report yourself to the police, the people that accuse you on Facebook, that they cover that face, you myself, whenever you see in that face, you the poor go there, the poor will move on to that place and can la say, oh yeah, that we don't accuse him, man. So if you want for them to go to the police station, the president, so the Alego Judo Baga, the guys that were accusing me and the cover that face, then they can't la they are called EPA director say that you can't you can be outside of the country, you cover your face, they accuse somebody, they police will go for the president. Hey, man, how you want to treat the country here? Or because in the country, everybody that in the country, all we are better. They are out of way.
Okay, all right, let me take another call on the line. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Mr. Joy, and good evening to your party.
Yes, sir.
My name is Melvin Jawi. I call from the Show District System.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a strong listener to your show, and I thought I enjoy your panel how you discuss, but as well as the tag way. See, you people do have a sense of the disco. Sometimes you shouldn't let your emotion to sway your way to talk with reality. We know propaganda, we know people saying true. Mr. Sunday is a person who I have respect for. So at least if you try to say some things, you want to sugarcoat it, I would give you almost thing, but not to be only denying things. You don't expect somebody who face cover or who go make it happy. Say, oh, president son will give you money, bring out money back home. Then you should take it serious, go police at you. Let me investigate me and get money. The police are investigating. If there's any link, I will call you in. He will call you in. This person is not a person that will be told you things. It's a person who is serious for the country. And the type will say, thank you for your analysis. Don't listen to people who
be jealous.
Okay, all right. Let me take another call on the line quickly. Let's hear you. Okay.
Yeah, I listen to the argument. You know, some people taking anything to be crazy. Yesterday. You know, most people are so curious of the bad president Brentwood. You have other people that went to jail here, like for the former justice minister that were hanged and put on the people fight, carrying to that same center prison. Nobody ever said, even on the police, or nobody else said, we country. You know, when you go fishing, you start to swim on fishing, the cafe out there with the granddaughter, they may say, cut the cafe. When the cafe not for you from your side, it becomes legal. So, the point is that we got to be careful how we say it.
Okay, all right. You made your point. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Sobo.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to the rest of the panel, including my people, David Tower. Yeah, this is Philemon Marcos moving and I join you from Central Moroville. Yeah, I listen to everyone. But my question here is, if I want to send out a message as a leader, but I say to telephone, when I say go to the people, why people want to center around issues that are not necessary for the discussion? The president needed to speak to the nation, and he speaks to the nation. Whatever way he speaks to the nation, the message went out, and everyone know what he said. What we need to do is to respect and live to what he said. Whosoever that is responsible for what is happening, what is unfolding in the country, let them take responsibility according to the law.
Okay.
We should respect.
All right. Thank you. Made your point.
Whatever then.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
This Ruben Kana, and I come from my Ghana restaurant this evening.
Okay.
And good evening to David Tagwell. You see, the issue of the audio, it was some problem in Madam Sadiq time. But when Mr. Weah came to power that I supported, it was a crime by the same group of people. So today, it had to be allowed a concern because they felt that they know all. But my concern had to do with the issue I just discussed. You see, for me, I am not against justice being handed to people. But the selected justice that is going on, and because you can look at Biago, right, and other people, because of social media posts from Matthew Cody, the president dismissed these people, and when the president dismissed you, meaning you have full cause for committed crime, you should go for investigation. Have this president of this country done that? No. But yesterday, you saw Madam Antola.
go for a private trade, should arrest them. Disgrace. So the president's son who spoke with the cartel, and even the EPF boss said, yes, this is not AR. Where is this man? Preferential treatment is being given to a few group of people.
Okay, you made your point. Let's take another call. We'll take 2 more calls and we'll wrap it up quickly. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, this Adam Akane memo the party intellectual bureau.
Okay.
Tony Von Dwala. Bossman, let me tell you something. What the folk, you see, he questioning the men that in the city that defending the former government. The poor look at it, they come in and wish on the nobody, but you know, they won't bring something, so we'll take it. And we will tell them, you are the threat, they say, we'll not get time with them. Who would know, President, what kind of wish something? Nobody, anybody. So hey, they just really to bring us up. President, what kind of wish only nobody, but for now, they don't want to come in to feel how they is doing. Even going to see that, nothing we see what they, you see, everything. And all the things in we are going to bring power you. So we are always feel the country. They will never come in power. Thank you very much.
All right, man and six. Let's hear you. We'll take 2 more, wrap it up. Okay, we'll take 2 more calls and we'll wrap it up. You can call there. Okay, let's take this caller. We'll take 2 more and we'll wrap it up quickly. Let's hear you.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is Albert Kemoka. I'm in Carwell, calling you from the Backhouse Avenue.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You know, I don't know when Mr. Sunday become a political journalist. This man, he just against this government. I know Moses Sunday to be a good journalist way back. But because he found himself somewhere where he was getting some points from the former government, today, he all over the place behaving that way. Look, when people begin to love Charles Taylor, when former President and when he was football player, he was saying that John and Taylor might go and this, that. Look, let's be careful here with what we say. Look, the former president's wife, if we don't have evidence, she will not be placed behind bars. There's a lady that issue people diplomatic power for all what they play here. Okay. So what you are trying to say, so because they want to serve as a VP to CDC, that what they crying? Okay,
let's take the last caller quickly. We're not going to take additional calls. Time has cut over us. Let's hear you. The calls are still coming in. Let's hear you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sober, and thanks to my brilliant, very sophisticated Mr. Moses Penny for a brilliant analyzing of what is
Moses go on go at least.
Politics. You see, Mr. Moses Penny, be courageous. Be courageous and always be very to the point of speaking the truth and not to be fearless. You see the guys there, they are distracted. Mind you, you're talking about hard number 1 and somebody for call the face and they come anyway for the nation you play a poker rap.
Oh, poker gone off.
I mean, you run out of money, man. You run out of minutes, man. You're not.
All right, so gentlemen, let me take this last caller. They call me calling. Let me take them quickly. Time has cut over. Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
My name is Lasana Family and I join from Carwell.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to appeal to you guys. I beg you, okay, you all of the time we sort of make our info.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, yeah.
The call, I beg you. Now, to the point, the cartel gave the president song for 8 hours. I want to know what for 8 hours they are not he last what all the information they have brought in concerning him.
Okay. All right. Now you want to know. Let me take this call on the line quickly. Let's hear you. Final call.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate you, Ali, for me to be a fan of now the leader. Let me appreciate the senior comrade that is defending TG. Why they put that disclaimer? I'm not a citizen, but I'm a member of the opposition. I just want to appreciate him and be courageous while Poga said. But one thing I have to say, a rope that tie a monkey will also tie a baboon. A falling of the drug leaf is a warning to the new world. I can say that to the Union Party. If they are putting the drugs to be holistic, not to be selective. But tomorrow, we will be defending the United Party in the past. Why they think that today we're not in the United Party? But the blow coming to the song, but we will be defending the United Party to the apple. But we different, because we believe that this thing will be able to deliver this country.
Okay.
But the more final and for the manner that we are seeing the government going, we are not satisfied with it. That is the reason why we leave the United Party. So it is important that if the government is putting the trust, it should not be selective because tomorrow it will hunt them.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Many thanks. This last one.
Yeah, but you're
Good
taking
evening.
last one too.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I get it.
Good eye, last caller. Let's hear you.
I get it right.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a very, this is Marcus. I'm appealing to you guys as a panelist in the host of this show. At least you should add time to us for our your advocate time for us. When I'm 10 minutes, I should get 10 minutes before a quarter. But this time you can running the show up to 10 o'clock. There's no time for us to speak. So I'm taking you, please make some adjustment. We love the show and we want to be a part of it.
All right. So all of our analysis will be for 2 hours and then the 15 minutes for you guys. Yeah?
Yeah, Chief, you just make your adjustment.
All right. Thank you. But we'll give you the same 15 minutes. I mean, it's 10, almost 10 something. Okay. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. David, let's hear you, David.
You know,
Your party
I'd
comments.
like to conclude like this. Most of the guys that call, they most especially those who are against, against the way the man on the wish.
You got 10
the
seconds. You need dragging out
the kind of good governance that this government is President Boubacar is administering is annoying a lot of guys, and so this is why they are intellectually blindfolded. And another thing again is that, look, Saba, did I hear somebody talking about intolerance? You mentioned it, Daniel Sando, that the government is intolerant. Is that person serious? Who is intolerant? Is said this government or the past government? The past government shut down Punch FM. The past government shut down Coastal radio station. This government hasn't shut down any radio station.
Thank you.
And you said that you're talking about intolerance. You don't have the moral rectitude to talk about intolerance. Yeah, he doesn't have the moral rectitude.
30 seconds, please.
You don't.
Closing comment.
Like my grandmother always told me,
Grandmother, you get grandmother. Move from here, man.
people who don't have the point to make, they will always shout. So this is what I have to say, right? We welcome the drug investigation and we support the government in the fight against the drug, making sure to break down the cartel. One of the callers said, why is it Senator Amara Corner is not going in section to write and invite the PVCC boss? I wish David Tabwa shares similar view. Look, Article 15, Chapter 3 of our Constitution says every citizen has the right to freedom of expression. That freedom of expression does not define it does not define a specific place where you must express. It does not say because you are allowed because you must only express in Chimos. It does not say because you are a clergyman you must only express an opinion in church. So I'm saying those who share the belief that American Senator Snow, Senator Koga, they are wrong of speaking on national issues. They are mistaken.
Okay, let me hold you there. Mr. Sandy, your party comment.
Look, Sava, it was indeed a great show, but I would like to wrap up by saying this: so when you do a content analysis of the colors, you can put the number of colors from the UP or people who identify as apologists of the UP. You can put that number at 95 or more %. And this is one of the reasons why our country continues to struggle. We always want to sing the song that our leaders will hear and do us a favor. And when you do that, the country suffers.
Okay.
Sycophancy, fanaticism is what killing Liberia. Thank you.
Vinicius Junior Bar, thank you for following. Honorable Pay Success Kila, thank you. Augustine Tamba, thank you. Ophelia S. George, thank you for following. Abraham V. Yen, thank you for following. Emmanuel Bro from the USA, thank you. J. Abuelto Kabia, my good friend and brother, thank you. Shadra Gwemin, thank you from Yekepa. Senior Dagos Mesla, thank you. Maxine M. Somalia, thank you. Aliu Fambule, and the rest of you who will follow the show. Join us tomorrow for another fascinating edition of the program. Maybe Dave will be in the drama scene. Until then, Samuel George Twain, have a pleasant time.